Alright guys, today we'll make an update about the price of Bitcoin and some altcoins. We'll look what is happening, and basically one of the main things here is that after this growth which we had very recently, it seems like it got slowed down and we see some sideways price action, and some people already saying, okay, we couldn't make it up to $10,000, we couldn't break it, the price will go lower, we're all gonna die, yada yada yada. First of all, if you look at the daily time frame, then you'll see pretty clearly that after such a growth we had only one red candle, and this looks like a reasonable correction after this kind of mini rally. And in fact, this formation looks more like a consolidation pattern than the beginning of the correction. You may even think of this as a bullish pennant with the targets something like $10,000 and maybe a little bit higher. Moreover, if we'll return to the lower time frames, then you would see that price actually did react with the level of something like $8,930 already twice, and this was a resistance level before. Now we had a pullback from this level, and recently with a high volume and these doji kind candlesticks over here. So this is kind of a textbook example, which again looks more like a preparation for the continuation of the growth, and even technically we have a higher low, higher high. So I don't think that we do have the reasons to worry about, and I'm still remaining bullish on the price of Bitcoin short term. What I also would like to point out is that you may see that with our MACD and our RSI, we had on the daily time frame lower highs, right? But at the same time, we had higher highs for the price, which means that this is a bearish divergence. In fact, after that we had this correction after this high, so probably I would have to do it like that. So after this high we had a correction perfectly matching this divergence, but you may see that this rise led to the fact that this trend for the lower highs got broken, and even we have the bullish crossover on MACD. And just keep this in mind, we had these lows going lower on the indicators, both MACD and RSI, but at the same time for the lows on the price, we have higher lows, which is actually a bullish divergence, although it is hidden bullish divergence, but still. And since this low is after this high, this bullish divergence actually played out again perfectly, and we had the move of the price upwards. So now, just take a snapshot on your memory of this pattern, and let's switch to the hourly time frame, and let's see what we have here. And we actually have a very similar structure. For MACD and RSI, we have the lower highs, and those lower highs trend is broken recently, while we had the higher highs for the price, and in fact after this higher high we had a correction to the downside. At the same time we had the higher lows on the price, and we had lower highs on both of our indicators, which means a hidden bullish divergence. And now we are starting to see the divergence playing out. So if you remember what we saw on the daily time frame, on the zoomed out picture for like a bigger time scale, this is pretty much the same as we see on the 1 hour time frame. And what you would expect to see now is that we will continue this growth to something like that, and the target again could be something like $10,000 plus. Of course guys, as usual, not a financial advice, just my personal opinion. Everything could happen, we are trading probabilities, but at least try to use this data to learn something, to know some more, and increase your chances to get more profits. By the way, returning to our pictures on the shorts, the number of shorts is continuing to go higher. We have a little bit of the stop over here, and in fact it may be very resembling to what happened before in the previous structure here, or maybe here, and then we still have a potential for the shorts going higher, but then probably they will be liquidated the same way as it happened right here, as soon as the price will go higher, unless people who have the short positions will not close them beforehand, but it seems like they are not expecting the growth to happen and they think that the correction is more likely. Well, if they will not close them, it will be a nice fuel for the future rise. Now what I was going to show you is some altcoins and their performance, their picture. If you remember, by the way, yesterday we were discussing the way of predicting all-time highs for Bitcoin using the method from Philip Swift with moving averages multiplied by different numbers from Fibonacci retracement sequence and also 111 moving average crossover with one of them. I will leave the link to this video in the top right corner right now. And by the way, if you would like to draw those lines, I made a short script. I have a link to that script in the description section of the previous video on my Telegram group, so you can get it and draw those lines by yourself. But what I was going to say today is that in fact this technique works also for Litecoin. You see, this rise in December 2017 had a very nice match with this intersection, confirming the fact that method actually works. And another thing is that right now, after this rally of Litecoin, we see the picture when this intersection may actually happen very soon again, especially before the halving effect. And while many people may expect the correction of this rather strong growth of Litecoin, the fact that this intersection didn't happen is another reason to expect that we will actually have a very nice chance to continuation of this growth, and then after we will see this intersection around here or somewhere, we may have a correction from the all-time high of Litecoin. By the way, it also works for XRP. So we had the high of XRP in January 2018 and we had this intersection around the same time. But for XRP, the next intersection is not even close. However, again, this is adding some credibility to the method. What is interesting though, that for Ethereum, there is no such intersection for its previous high with dollar. However, we have this intersection with a Bitcoin pair. And it's very interesting because it means that Ether is a coin which is traded primarily with Bitcoin as opposed to Litecoin and XRP, for example. One may draw some interesting conclusions from that, but in any case, here is the data, and we probably, if we will look for another all-time high for Ether, we would need to refer to Ether to Bitcoin trading pair. And shortly returning to Litecoin, I must say that there is an interesting picture for its dominance chart. You see, the previous high for Litecoin dominance was in March 2018, and now we had higher highs already twice for its dominance. Moreover, we have a support line for its lows, and we may expect the continuation of those oscillations one or another side. But in my opinion, considering all the other factors, I would expect it to be happening more likely to the upside. Alright, to the other coins. Binance coin. If you remember, we were looking at the potential reversal of this drop of Binance coin, and again, indeed, we have the rise, although it would be very nice if we'd see it somewhere around $26 and then we can buy more with the test of the previous resistance as a support, but not. And again, the tactics with the lows in the price matching the lows on the stochastic oscillator on the 4 hours time frame works pretty nicely. So we could buy low here and low here, and then I would probably expect the price breaking finally this previous highs once again, and then having like 15-20% increase, and then we'll see another high on stochastic oscillator where we would expect it to be a nice take profit zone. Moreover, it would be even better if it will be confirmed on a daily time frame, for example, as we saw for the lows around here and for the highs around here, and so on. Alright, a lot of people are looking at Zcash, and Zcash had a lot of volume recently during this fall, and it was actually falling for a while. Again, we're looking at it with a Bitcoin pair because we want to pick the altcoins which are stronger than the whole market. And right now you see for almost a month Zcash is having higher highs, higher lows, and finally it actually broke this trend line with a very nice volume. So we may expect that finally this decrease, this falling trend will be over and we will see some recovery of Zcash. Although we of course may see a correction of this relatively strong rise, but then maybe some slower accumulative behavior and then the reversal to the upside. This also would be a very nice reversal for Zcash. I would want to say that all the private coins behave the same way like Monero, but no, there was some hope around here, and in fact today it shows a nice green candle, but I really don't want to be delusional here. It still doesn't show any significant strength, so probably we will have to stick with the same rule of following the trend. Speaking about the privacy coins, I'm more positive on Horizon, which had a significant drop recently again, but it held this previous support to BTC, and potentially we may see a reversal exactly at this point. So I will pay attention to this coin and look carefully whether it will have some signs of the growth. For example, if it will break this trend line, making it a support again. So at least for Horizon, I'm more bullish than for Monero. Finally, I was going to mention one Harmony, and this time as a pair of Binance coin, because here you can see that after the test of this previous support, it had a nice rise, breaking the previously drawn resistance line over here with 1, 2, 3 points, and this rise actually happened after this bullish divergence which we had with MACD and RSI, and finally very recently price did test this resistance line as a support, and this line held. Price is still above it, so this is a sort of a classical example of the reversal, and this is a little bit higher volume around here, nothing that special, but still giving some hope for the future growth. So if it will not return back, if it will not break this trend line, I would remain cautiously bullish on Harmony and wait at least for the higher highs to confirm the rising trend. Okay guys, those were my thoughts on the market today. Let's see what will happen within the next few days, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Safe trading, and thank you for watching.